Hey guys, Courtney here with Miss Rosanna, and I'm going to be changing her into an outfit that I had forgotten I had, and I found it when I was organizing my baby clothes, and it was so adorable that I wanted to put it on her. It's basically these little kissy kissy overalls. They're like a Pima cotton. They're super soft, and they have little like jungle or basically zoo animals on them. So, and while I'm changing her, I wanted to talk about something that was semi-recently, not too recently, or else I wouldn't be talking about it, but a semi-recently kind of a doll drama thing that was happening. I usually stay very far away from such situations, but I don't remember exactly what got me just looking at the post of the issue that was going on, but it was a situation that I had never really considered before, and I can almost see both sides of it. Typically when I look at the situations, one, I tend to stay very unbiased. I know that a lot of issues come from both seller, collector, seller, buyer. So because I'm both an artist, a seller, a collector, and a buyer, I'm usually pretty unbiased, although at the same time, because I am an artist, a lot of times I will lean towards the artist side depending on what the situation is, because I can think of like what the artist has put into her work, etc. And anyway, but that all just completely depends on the situation. But this particular situation was very interesting because, so what happened, I'm not going to name any names, and again, this happened kind of a while back, so I didn't keep up to see like what the very end resolution was, so I actually have no idea. I stopped following, I stopped, you know, I think I had given my 2 cents at one point, just a point of view, and then after that I just stepped away. So what happened was an artist made a doll and sold it on eBay, and the buyer, and I want to say that it was an international transaction, so the baby was, I believe, in the UK, and sold on eBay to a lady in the US. I don't remember the exact issues, but I think that once the doll was received, there was, I guess, I think it may have been a situation where it was kind of miscommunication, or basically something happened with the doll that the buyer was not happy with. And I don't recall how, again, this was a little while back, I couldn't recall how it was being handled, how the communication was between the buyer, the seller, or the artist and the collector. But basically, there wound up being an eBay dispute, and I don't remember how this came about, like what the final, like how the final say came to be. But basically what happened was there was a, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right. If I'm not mistaken, there was a PayPal claim that happened, and it wound up being in the seller's favor. So basically, with that being in mind, when the dispute happened and the money was taken from the seller, when eBay PayPal closed the case, the money was returned back to the seller. And then something happened where the buyer did a chargeback or something like that, with another dispute on top of it. I might be mixing up details here, but this is like, it's not the main point. I'll get to the main point in a minute. But basically the end result was both the buyer and the seller got their money. So the buyer was refunded in full for the doll. The seller got to keep her money for selling the doll. Okay, so nobody was out money. But the problem is you have this doll that's not been technically, I guess, not been paid for, but technically had been paid for. The doll was still in the possession of the buyer, but she also got her full money back. The seller was not out any money for the doll, but if you think of it this way, both parties, as far as financial, were set. So the buyer spent the money on the doll, but wound up getting her money back, so it's not like she ever purchased the doll. The seller got the money for the doll, but you know, but but so did the buyer. So in other words, the buyer didn't really, basically the buyer got the doll for free. So so to me, like, the doll was kind of sitting in limbo, and the argument that was going back and forth was, who does the doll belong to? And this is where the topic gets really interesting, because technically the artist sold the doll. She got her money for the doll. Okay, she's not out any money. But the buyer basically got the doll for free, because she filed the complaint and all that, and with the chargeback, I don't remember all the details, but basically, so she has this very expensive doll for free. So, and I think that her whole argument was, the artist doesn't deserve the doll back, because she'll just wind up getting double the money, because once the doll goes back to her, she's technically already got her money for selling the doll, so if she gets to sell her again, she gets double the money. That was her argument. And then of course the seller's argument is, you know, this buyer was not happy with the doll to begin with. She's my work of art that the buyer technically didn't pay for. So why does she get to keep my work for free? So that's where the limbo set. And to me, there was like so many mistakes made on eBay and PayPal's part. Because really what obviously should have happened was the doll got shipped back to the artist, the buyer got refunded via the seller's money, and then that was it. Like, that's what should have happened. But something odd happened along the way. So my question to you guys, I would really, really, really love to know your input on this, is who do you think is the fair person to keep the doll? And I know that there's so many variety of viewers out there, so I would love to know, when you comment, I would love to know if you're an artist, if you're a collector, or buyer, seller, whatever. And now that that's out there, I want to give my opinion. This is my opinion. I don't know that there's a right and wrong answer in this situation. I never really came across another one like it, and so it really kind of floored me. But I guess in this situation, I'm going to take to heart from the artist side of things, because technically both parties are not out any money whatsoever. And I will say, and not to say that she was being truthful or not. I don't know. I don't know a person's heart, motivations, actions. But the seller claimed that if she had the doll returned to her, she was not planning on selling her, because she would technically be considered a boo-boo baby or a used baby. So even she claimed that she wasn't planning on selling her, that she was planning probably to give her to like a friend or someone like that. The buyer was claiming that she was going to give the baby to like a nursing home or something. But this is also, by the way, a very high-end silicone baby that's very soft. I don't know that I would trust it in the hands of a nursing home. Just saying. I don't know if she was I don't know who was lying and who wasn't, who was telling the truth. Again, I don't know. But basically both buyer and seller were claiming to have good intentions for whoever got the baby. To me, from an artist standpoint, both parties were not out any money. But I guess to me, I'm looking at the fact that the artist put so much time and energy and work and love into her creation, that to me, with the doll being in limbo, I think that she should have gone back to the artist. To me, because the buyer technically did not pay for that work of art, that she should not own it. That is my perspective on it. I stand pretty firm in that. I've heard both sides, and I understand both sides. I really do. But if I had to narrow it down, and again, this is a very odd situation that I hope I never ever find myself in. But that would have to be my 2 cents on the matter, is that to me, the buyer didn't pay for this works, and so it shouldn't be hers. But again, I would love to know the other side, like someone else's opinion. I would love to know why, like why you think that the buyer should keep the doll. Because I mean, even the seller said that she would pay shipping to have the doll sent back to her. So again, the buyer wouldn't be out any money. The seller was like, I will cover shipping if you'll send her back to me. But I think that she was just adamant. Now, I will say this, and I think this is why a lot of people were more on the fence than on the artist side, is, to be fair, the artist acted very, in my opinion, unprofessional during this whole situation. I understand that she was panicked because it's very stressful when something very expensive and something that you poured your heart and soul into is, you know, causing a situation and a ruckus and you don't know what's going to happen. But to me, she acted very unprofessional in the way that she was handling things. I don't know if it's maybe like a bit of a culture difference or something like that. It's possible. And again, some of you probably know exactly what situation I'm talking about and saw the actions from the artist. I did not approve in any way of the artist's actions throughout this. But even with that being the case, I do still feel like it was the artist work. The buyer did not, in the end, pay for the work of art. Thus, it does not belong to her. So yeah, that's, I hope you guys understood the situation that I was talking about. Again, please fill the comments with your opinions on the matter. If you do remember the situation, I do ask that you just keep some disclosure. I don't want to name the artist. I don't want to name the buyer. My channel is definitely not a drama bashing video of any, none of those ever on my channel, including the comments if at all possible. So please keep everything, you know, disclosure. Don't name any names, but I would love to know your opinions on everything. And anyway, look at this beautiful little princess here. She this outfit looks really cute on her. She got her little white bow. Oh, she's so precious. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy watching this video. It's definitely a little bit different from other videos that I've done, but that situation kind of popped back in my head again yesterday, and I really wanted to talk about it because, again, I had never run into anything quite that, a situation quite like that in the doll community. As far as I know, neither party are scammers. Like, the buyer doesn't have a record of being a scammer as far as I know. And the seller doesn't, as far as I know. But so either side, I think, are like honest ladies. I just don't know. It was just a very hard situation. But again, I do side with the artist in this particular instance. But all right, guys, well, thank you so much for watching. Again, please leave your opinions down in the comment below. Please be nice. If someone doesn't share your opinion, your view, please, that's okay. Treat that person with respect and just let them have their opinion. This is a very hard situation, so I don't know that there even is a right or wrong answer. So yeah, so please be nice in the comments, but please feel free to share your side of things. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye-bye.